Hey guys, Speed here with the first interactive replay analysis. I'll be going through the replay and asking various questions about items or decisions, and after I read the question and answers, you will have 10 seconds to choose one. There's no clicking, you just have to choose the answer in your head and wait till we reveal the correct answer. So Treant is about to spot a Warlock and only has level 1 root. How do you think Mirana is going to approach this kill on the Warlock? Choice A, Mirana will auto attack until he can get a 5-second arrow to secure the kill. B, he will leap to have a better chance of hitting the arrow and then secure the kill. Or C, he will time the arrow with the Treant root to secure a 5-second stun. So the correct answer is B, leap to have a better chance of hitting the arrow. You'll notice S4 within this clip sacrifices a little bit of the maximum damage and the stun duration, but because Treant is only level 1, his root is very short, and therefore he just wants to make sure he gets a little bit of mini stun so Treant can continue auto-attacking the Warlock. So the next question will be more of an overall question. What is the main way S4 will gain an advantage in this lane besides denying and harassing the Slark? Is the answer A, pull the hard camp, B, drag the wave to the small camp, or C, arrow the large camp? So the correct answer was C, arrow the large camp. You'll notice at the beginning of this landing stage, S4 purchases a Clarity, and that's because he knows he's going to have some downtime where he's arrowing the large camp. And this is a main way for Mirana in general, specifically Mirana offlane and safe lane, to gain an edge against their opponents. At the 5-minute siege cart wave, how do you think S4 will approach this? For this question, there will be multiple answers that apply, and try to choose all that do. The choices are A, arrow the enemy cart, B, drag the enemy wave to buy time for his creeps, C, glyph the friendly cart, or D, nuke the wave with Starfall. So the correct answers were A, C, and D. S4 during this siege cart wave nukes the enemy cart so that he can get some damage on the enemy tower. He then glyphs the friendly cart at some point because it was getting attacked by the tower, and then he nukes the wave with the Starfall, and it also gets some harass damage on Slark, which leads to the kill and allows the cart to reach the tower as fast as possible. So the reason the answer was not B, but all the other ones, was S4 didn't drag the enemy creep wave to buy time for his creeps, because if he does that, then the Slark can easily just drag the wave away with his high HP regen and ability to nuke the wave with his Q. So there's really no reason for S4 not to try to protect this cart and creeps from the Slark and drag the wave. So we're going to skip ahead here to 1630, and the reason was S4 pretty much just for the past 10 minutes or so was farming the top lane. Nothing really happened. He just pressured tower when he could, farmed the large camp, farmed the small camp, pushing the wave. Pretty simple. And also though, in between this, he was picked off by Meepo 3 times. As you can tell, his team is down 8k net worth at this point, and because of this, he has to play a little bit different. Meepo is a hero that can easily solo kill Mirana, even Slark, right? You cannot leap away if Slark pounces you, so there's many heroes on the map that provide a lot of kill potential onto Mirana. Mirana is usually a hero that can safely push out waves, and is very good at doing this. But in this case, S4 has to do something a little bit different. So what my question will be on this topic is, because his team is 8k net worth behind, how will S4 attempt to recover in such a hard game? And the choices for this will be A, continue to split push to make space for the Spectre, B, look for pickoffs with Treant and Tinker, or C, group up behind his hard carry. So the correct answer is C, group up behind his hard carry. there's pretty much no way he can do either A or B, which involve either split pushing or looking for pickoffs, because as I just talked about, there's a Shadowblade Slark running around and a Blink Dagger Meepo, and as you can see, Oracle just gets picked off if he tries to go anywhere. The Slark's hunting around, and they see him under a sentry. So pretty much S4 doesn't have a lot of options here, and one of the main things he has to do this game is secure a space for it. His late game carry Spectre, but he can't do that through split pushing, so instead, he's just going to group up behind him, and as you see, a Fright breaks out, so he's already there. He tanks the chrono pretty much for his team, maybe just was a bad chrono, but because he's here, he's able to put in a fair amount of work and secure the Slark kill. So by some, maybe not complex positioning, but being in the right place at the right time, S4 is able to get a bunch of kills for his team, and when he was down 8k net worth, Meepo ends up feeding as well, and pretty much by assisting his Spectre and preventing him from being ganked, they get a big turnaround. So, as you just saw, S4 won a big team fight and was able to purchase his Maelstorm. What item do you think he will purchase now that he has kind of 1k gold and has to go for another fairly big item? Will it be A, a Manta style, B, a BKB, C, a Yules, or D, a Mjolnir? So the correct answer is BKB. So pretty much he needs a BKB this game. As I talked about in the past, there's many heroes that just kill him. The Meepo net, the Slark pounce. Time dilation from Void is extremely deadly against Mirana. So he has to be able to purge all these things. Manta style does purge many of these abilities and is great for that reason, but it's expensive, and a problem with it, especially against a hero like Meepo, is he can just net you again afterwards. And you constantly need the ability to not be locked down in order to actually take these fights where there's a lot of Mirana counters. Jules kind of has the same purpose as Manta style and is good for arrow setup. The problem is, once again, it provides a one dispel, but it's simply not enough, right? Meepo can just net you as you're coming down, and it just doesn't do enough. And Mjolnir is simply not acceptable this game. His team doesn't necessarily have damage issues with the Tinker, but he really needs a defensive item, and BKB just does way too much this game. An incredibly necessary pickup for any Mirana in a game like this. So here, mid tower is low, and Spectre just got picked off by the Meepo and Slark. How will S4 attempt to pressure in the mid tower or take it? Is it A, nuke the wave in back, B, leap to take the tower quickly, or C, simply auto attack it because it's that important? So the correct answer is A, nuke the wave in back, because as I talked about, throughout this game, he understands that he can't actually split push this game or even try to take any objective alone. He instantly backs, right? He doesn't have his BKB, and the mid tower is incredibly important for the same reason. Whenever you're taking the mid tower, it's great when you are able to apply map pressure, but in this game, they don't really have the ability to apply pressure yet, so it's not that great an objective, and he doesn't end up getting it killed anyway through a deny. So a fight is about to break out, bottom, and Meepo poofs in. What will S4's reaction be? Will it be A, arrow the Meepo and try to secure the kill? B, look for a backline pickoff on a key target like Warlock? C, try to zone out the Slark on the right? So the correct answer is A, arrow the Meepo and try to secure the kill. And the reason for this is Meepo is a hero that can't really buy defensive items, such as BKB. So if he poofs in, he's kind of committed. And S4 recognizes this and immediately tries to secure the Meepo kill, who is by far their biggest damage dealer right now. Going for a hero like Warlock is usually in vain at this point. In a fight like that, that's already developed because he already casted his Fatal Bonds and his ultimate. so there's pretty much no point, even though it is a key target. It's only a key target if you can get him before he gets his spells off. So S4 has finally picked up his BKB and is looking to fight. His team starts to move top, and his Tinker has Ags and his Spectre has Radiance. Now, when he's pushing at the top wave, he notices the Slark is going on his Treant. What do you believe S4's reaction will be? Is it A, arrow to protect his Treant and back, B, BKB and fight the Slark, or C, leap onto the Slark but not use BKB? The correct answer is C, leap onto the Slark but not use BKB. And this might seem a little bit odd because the Meepo actually does have a sheep stick, and Slark can kind of pounce him and man fight him very easily. But if you look more into the game, and the reason why I mentioned previous to the question that Tinker is Ags and Spectre is BKB is S4 kind of has to be the tank this game that baits out spells. He doesn't want his other heroes to get jumped and blown up in the fights, so if he's able to bait out the Slark BKB and the Slark ultimate, which he does, without using his own BKB, he can kind of disengage and get them to maybe overcommit a little bit, which he does. And then as you can tell, they get the supports killed, and Tinker is easily able to stay in the back, right? S4 acts as kind of that frontliner and kind of as a bait, and because of that, the fight goes pretty well. It ends up developing. He hits a nice arrow onto the Meepo. Due to his late BKB, he stays alive, and the fight develops well for his team. S4's team just got a pick off on Slark mid. How will S4 approach this high ground fight after Void forces his BKB early? Is the answer A, dive with the BKB to get maximum value out of the BKB time? B, simply hit the buildings? Or C, hide because he has no BKB? The correct answer is B, hit the buildings. Slark is already dead, and Meepo kind of poses no threat, as because if Meepo commits, he'll simply get lasered and controlled. So S4, the only way the fight could really go bad is if he forces his team to overcommit, and they get picked off one by one. So it's a large problem with players when going high ground is they feel pressured to do things, especially with their items and their ability usage. But the main thing to do when not going high ground is consider how far do you actually need to go, right? If you force your team in deep, usually things go terrible, so S4 intelligently stays back, just secures the Rex with his high attack speed. The game pretty much ends up finishing off a little bit afterwards, and because of S4 playing not greedy, right, he had the option to continue split pushing and maybe make space for his Spectre by simply playing the dangerous parts of the map, but instead he went and defended his Spectre. This game could have gone really south if Meepo continued to get pickoffs on people split pushing. But S4 was smart enough to group up with his team, maybe play a little bit defensive, not worry too much about his own item timings, and worry more on other people's item timings. Alright, thank you guys for watching this new series. It's something a little bit different, but I think it could be great for helping people to actively learn. For the next video, I will try to look at a different role in maybe a more complex game. This Mirana game was fairly basic, but there's still a lot to learn in this match, and from S4's very smart decision making.